This is the home of the world's largest crappie, which is 5 pounds, 3 ounces, and it was caught by Fred Bright on July 31st, 1957. And this is courtesy of Bill Warren Signs. And this is here in Water Valley, Mississippi. Let's go. Good afternoon, good people. This is P9, and I am here with another video. And I am in Water Valley, Mississippi. Water Valley is one of 2 county seats of Yalobusha County. The other county seat being Coffeyville, which is a smaller city. Now, Water Valley itself has a population of 3,400 residents. And I start this video over here by the Episcopal Church of the Nativity. And I'm gonna make my way into downtown Water Valley. But the word Yalobusha, which is the namesake of the county, comes from a Native American word of the Muskogee language. And it translates into tadpole place. I'm guessing because of its location near the water, and a lot of, tadpoles gather around the river. But this is Water Valley. And Water Valley is one of those cities that is located more or less like in the northern half of Mississippi, not far from Oxford. And this is one of those cities, if you're coming from Alabama and headed towards the Mississippi Delta, you'll likely encounter Water Valley, just depending on what route you take, especially if you take Route 278 through Oxford. So it's a nice sunny Wednesday afternoon. Check this out. This building right here is the First Methodist Church Wesley House. As I make my way further down Main Street, oh, wow, check this out. This building right here is the U.S. Post Office building. It looks like at one point in time, a long time ago, it housed a smaller like courthouse or something. And it was architected by James Wetmore back in 1924. So this building is over 100 years old, but it now hosts or houses the U.S. Post Office right here in Water Valley. They also have some nice buildings on this side, nice old-fashioned buildings. A few restaurants, it's a coffee shop across the street called Magnolia. But this right here, this historical church building right here is First Presbyterian Church. So already within a couple of blocks, we saw like 3 churches. So this is Mississippi, Bible Belt. They have what's called a Blue Buck Mercantile building over there. and a furniture gallery, which is really nice. Of course, you're gonna have your local hardware store. But I did mention the Yalabusha, what it translates into, and that it is a part of the Muskogee language. But in this particular region of Mississippi, the indigenous Native Americans that occupied this land were the Choctaw and Chickasaw. And of course, you know, during the Indian Removal Act, in the Trail of Tears, that's when they were forcibly removed from this land. It's a drugstore right here. Since 1905, it's called the Turnage Drug Store. It's interesting building right here. And it sits right next to this bank right here called Bank First. Here's a historical marker right here. It's called the Cradle of North Mississippi Methodism. The North Mississippi Conference of the Methodist Episcopal Church South, now the United Methodist Church, was organized 1 block east on November 30th, 1870. And it was created from portions of the Memphis, Alabama, and Mississippi conferences. Bishop D.S. Doggett, President John Barkoff, Secretary. And here's just a couple of dates that chronicles the formation of the Cradle of North Mississippi Methodism. So again, there's a string of denominations, religious denominations right here, as you just saw with the multitude of churches right here in Main Street. Here goes a sculpture of one of those military tanks right there. So some military artifacts right over here. So demographically speaking, Water Valley, Mississippi is actually pretty split in regards to blacks and whites. It's a pretty balanced population as far as that is concerned. But this right here, I'm not sure what the name of this park is, but it's leading up into what looks like it's going to be like a Union Depot, which we're going to see in just a second. But I just wanted to get this shot right here of across the street. That building on the left, the brick building, is what's called the BTC Old Fashioned Grocery Store. Looks pretty interesting. They sell a multitude of groceries like produce, eggs, and they also have a restaurant that sits within the same building that sells burgers, soul food, which is a staple, of course, down south. Soul food, you know, very much a staple in the South. I want to get over here to this marker right here. And this marker is of James Ford, who was born in Water Valley. James Ford, who lived from 1911 and 1968, was a pioneer in archaeology, conducting extensive surveys across the Southeast, including the Mississippi Delta. He created a technique for dating sites using ceramic seriation. He also worked in Colombia and Peru. Ford's field and lab methods modernized American archaeology. So there you have it. A Water Valley native who modernized American archaeology. Pioneer in archaeology. That's really dope. You know, you have these small cities and towns that breed some of the most innovative individuals in history. I always found that to be really dope. It just started to cool off a little bit. We're sitting outside the Water Valley Casey Jones Railroad Museum right here. So it's a railroad museum. So we're about to get some history of Water Valley's role within the railroad transportation industry. Oh wow, they have a watermelon carnival exhibit inside the banana car. Interesting. They have it there today. But here's one of the cars, and it looks like Water Valley was part of the Illinois Central. The Illinois Central Railroad line, the main line of Mid-America, as you can see right here. So this is called the Casey Jones Railroad Museum. Casey Jones is another historical figure in the Deep South. We're going to get more information on him in a minute. But check out these railroad cars right here. So I wonder if this is the banana car, because of its color. It's yellow in color. But yeah, I'm right outside the Water Valley Casey Jones Railroad Museum, which looks like it's a museum now, but it was converted from a Union Depot that was real prominent during the heyday of railroads and train transportation, passenger trains. And look, they have the little mileage marker right here. New Orleans, 323 miles. Chicago, 589 miles through train travel. So that's pretty dope. And again, looks like those cities were on the Illinois Central rail line as well. Very interesting. So I guess this is where the railroad cars are on exhibit. And what's this, a wagon? You know, this is old school, y'all. This is back in the 1800s, man. Yeah, wow. Definitely before the automobile and electric vehicle era. But this is really nice though. Really cool display right here. And here's the man himself. Here's some information on Casey Jones, a famous railroad engineer during the late 19th and early 20th century. And on April 30th, 1900, railroad engineer John Luther Casey Jones died when his Illinois Central train, the Cannonball, collided with a stalled freight train in Vaughn, Mississippi. Jones, who once lived and worked in the railroad town of Water Valley, was credited with saving the lives of his passengers and crew and was immortalized in song by many artists, including Mississippi-born bluesman Furry Lewis and Mississippi John Hurt. And you guys will all know that Mississippi, especially the Mississippi Delta, is famous for blues music. But this is just some more information. It's a historical marker, courtesy of the Mississippi Blues Trail. It's just just information on Casey Jones, the railroad engineer who occupied a celebrated role in the American cultural imagination during the late 18th and early 19th centuries, which was the peak era of steam locomotive. So no one has achieved more than Casey Jones during that time in regards to engineering. And here's just some images right here of Casey Jones. There he is right there on the Illinois Central Railroad. And there's another image of him and his crew on that locomotive. And that's Sim Webb, who was one of Casey Jones's firemen. And Casey Jones' widow right there on the right, Miss Janie Jones. And this is a Life magazine, diagram of the accident that claimed Casey Jones's life. They actually had it published in the Life magazine, as you can see right here. And here's another map right here. So very tragic incident, of course. And here's Casey Jones right here on a postage stamp back in 1950. So This dude is very historical. He's a very big part of the Mississippi history. I also wondered, the dude with the hockey mask on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I wonder if Casey Jones was the inspiration behind that character. You know, the dude with the mask on Ninja Turtles. Isn't his name Casey Jones? I could have sworn his name was Casey Jones. I don't know if that had anything to do with it. I don't know, just a random thought. But really nice piece of history right there. Shout out to Casey Jones. I'm gonna go down this way a little further and make my way back down Main Street. Check this out. This is Robert Turnage, who was a 4th generation pharmacist in the Turnage family and new owner of the Turnage drugstore. So this is a very important staple and, you know, landmark right here in Water Valley, serving the area since 1905. Pretty cool, huh? Right here is of the North Mississippi Herald, which was a publication right here in Yalobusha County, Mississippi, Water Valley. And this mural was by Bill Warren in 2013. It looks like it's a lady with a bag of produce, it looks like. But the illustration itself, the original illustration, was by J.G. Boyd in 1907. So this mural was taken from an illustration by J.G. Boyd. So that's really nice. And this is the building right here, North Mississippi Herald. They have a Valley Vet Clinic, veterinarian clinic, a walk-in clinic right here. So a lot of services being offered out here. They have a furniture gallery as well. As I mentioned earlier, how you doing? That was the Magnolia Coffee Company. Here's an art gallery right here. And check out this mural over here. As I mentioned earlier in the video about Water Valley being a key city on the Illinois Central Railroad route. Well, here's a mural, which was originally done by K. Kroll. I think that's the name right here. G. Hare and LaRue. But there goes the artist names right there. But it was touched up in July 15th by Bill Warren, the mural guy. And is 9 new characters added. And it was also touched up on August 9th by Craven Barnard. So this is a really interesting mural right here, as you're about to see. It just illustrates the history of Water Valley on the railroad. You have some kids right here. Some kids outdoors enjoying watermelon together. It's a black girl with some white girls. So you see the racial harmony right there. Really dope. It looks like you have right here what looks like perhaps the railroad porter. And you have the engineer right there. Possibly Casey Jones. It might be Casey Jones. I don't know. Looks like him. And then you have what looks like, again, you have some black kids right here, some white kids right over here. And the little black girl. There's, again, harmony, kids playing together, regardless of race. Again, beautiful thing, beautiful sight, beautiful illustration. And then you have this young girl right here, what looks like she's handling some watermelons or something of that nature. And yeah, this brother right here pushing a wheelbarrow of watermelons. You have a kid right here. Looks like he's jotting some notes down or something. Yeah, really nice picture. Again, some kids right here. Looks like they're getting some watermelons. So apparently Water Valley must be a watermelon growing city or something to that effect. You know, a lot of watermelons harvested here. Very nice illustration right here. You know, I love murals, and I couldn't resist getting this one right here. Yes, you guys, a time when passenger railroad travel was optimal and at its peak. That's pretty much all you really had was railroad travel, you know, across the country. This is pre interstate highway and automobile, so yeah, really nice. Again, there goes a porter with a railroad and it looks like a little puppy right there and a dog. This is really nice, really cool illustration right here. Shout out to Kroll, LaRue, Bill Warren, Barnard, all those artists that put together this really nice mural right here. It looks like a black married couple. Ha, really nice. If you ever come to Water Valley, make sure you get this mural. Hey y'all, check this out. I'm outside of this building, which is actually a restaurant. It's called the Crawdad Hole. It's famous for its seafood, specifically its specialty of crawfish. But it looks like it used to be a gas station back in the day. As you can see, they have these pumps right here. That's wild. Now, the interesting thing is that this place is actually closed today. It's only open Thursday through Saturday. But I thought I'd get some footage of that particular restaurant. Again, it's called the Crawdad Hole. So it looks like when it's open, it looks like it gets a lot of clients, you know, a lot of customers and whatnot. But continuing down Main Street, on the other side of Main Street, here in Water Valley, what a beautiful house right there. Really nice antique home. And they maintain these homes. They make sure they preserve these homes very well. I didn't know if that was a private residence or if that was like one of those historical museum type homes. But either way you look at it, it looked like it could have potentially been a plantation house. Just saying. Hendrix Venue. Oh, so it looks like they have events here at this particular location. It's called Hendrix Venue and Steakhouse. All right, cool. Well, that sun just came back out. And of course you have your abandoned, you gotta have that abandoned building or two in the mix. And there goes one right here. I wonder what this establishment used to be though. I wonder what establishment was in this particular building. Okay, they have a wellness center, rehabilitation, physical therapy, aquatic therapy, and sports medicine right over here. It's pretty nice. They have something like that right here in this sleepy small town. And right across the street over there is they also have the city hall and fire station. Haha, Rebel Southern Apparel, and check this out. Yeah. You know, they definitely gonna show their love, show some love for Trump. This is Mississippi. Mean Gene's Hickory Smoked Barbecue. Okay, so that building that I was over across earlier is the Chamber of Commerce, Water Valley Chamber of Commerce. Okay. Yellow Run Textiles. They have a lot of nice little shops over here. And get a load of this right here. I knew sooner or later I was gonna run across a mural. And right here, this mural right over here is called the Water Valley Wave. Ah, this is nice. It's really dope. Really dope wave. Got to see who put this mural together. It's really nice. This is also nice right here. The handprints right here in the bench. Okay, this mural was put together in June 2017 by Bill Warren, Ralph Schmidt, and Patty D'Amico. Shout out to those individuals who put together this fly mural right here. And that's gonna be my segue into this area right here. It's called the Water Valley Pocket Park. So apparently they have a bunch of benches right here with the handprints in them. And you can come out here and, you know, just sit down and grub, you know. Get you some grub from one of these restaurants, come outside, sit down and chill. They even have umbrellas attached to them. So I guess you can put the umbrellas up and when it get too hot and just vibe. And of course, it is Mississippi, deep south, it gets hot and humid. So those umbrellas are definitely come in handy. And of course, you know, you have the fast charges right here. The fast charge machines for the, what's it charge? Is it, okay, for the EVs, I guess. Charging stations for the electric cars. Really nice. I also have to make mention of the string lights. So this will also be a nice little place to come chill at night. Check this out. They even have a little free library. You can share books over here. You can also take a book, and this is dedicated to Cecil S. Ford, an avid reader whose superb teaching skills inspired generations of WV students. Okay. That's pretty neat that they have those little free libraries. Encourage those to read. Yeah. Here we are back. Here we are in this in front of this grocery BTC old-fashioned grocery store that I mentioned earlier. They have the produce out front. They have the peanuts. Really nice. Your cafe and roastery. And they even have a barber shop. It looks like, oh no, it's not a barber shop. It looks like an art studio, perhaps, or a bookstore. See, every time I see these things right here, I be thinking barber shops, but this is really like a bookstore. And you have a book right there of Taylor Swift, of course, for all you Swifties out there. And here you have this alien right here with the St. Patrick's Day get up on. St. Patrick's Day was a little over a week ago, so they have the St. Patty's Day type stuff, spirit going on. But that's really dope with the alien with the St. Patrick's Day hat on. Really nice, really nice. Yeah. But this was a really nice little tour of Water Valley. I really enjoyed it. So with that in mind, good people, I'm gonna go ahead and conclude this vlog right here in Water Valley. And thanks for everybody who's tuned in to the vlog. And for those who made it this far, make sure you hit that like button. It would be greatly appreciated. Also, those who are new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button along with the notification bell. That way you get notified each and every time I drop a new vlog. And with that in mind, good people, take care and have a great day.